everyone doing today? Hope you're all festive out. You're all fat full of turkey or whatever you eat traditionally for the seasonal holiday of Christmas. It's the holidays. I love the holidays. It means I don't have to work. I love it. How's everyone doing? It's Monday night. It's not even Monday night. It's Monday afternoon. It's Monday night for the Europeans out there. That's right. European time zone stream. So we'll get the logistical stuff out of the way. It's Monday. I have the whole week off work. So we are going to be doing Trident build all this week. So right now, tentatively, it's looking like today, Wednesday or Thursday, and then Sunday will be streams of the Trident build. I'm not going to try and rush through it, but I am going to try and get through the build quicker than our normal builds. Normally it's like a month and a half to 2 months. We're going to try and get through the Trident build a little bit quicker.
Already started this build.
Because I've got a V0 here I got to build at some point. So we're going to try and skedaddle our way through the Trident build. Skyblock, I thought you already started. This is as far as we got, and this is in square. So this is like officially part one of the build. We already did the unboxing. If you didn't see the unboxing, we went through the kit. For those that don't know, it's a fysetc kit. If you are interested in getting the kit, link in the description. What I'm going to try and do is every video that I do on kits going forward, the very first comment will be a pinned comment from me. If you purchase this kit, I want you to put feedback from the kit in that first pinned comment. That way, if somebody in the future buys a kit and they can check and see if there's been any updates. Because that's one of the things, unfortunately, that is common with AliExpress kits is you buy it now, it might be good. 6 months from now, it might not be. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it is. This is a fysetc kit off AliExpress. They sent it to me for free on the condition I build the printer. Thoughts and opinions are on my own. If it's a good kit, I'll say it's good. If it's a bad kit, I'll say it's bad. I'm going to comment and critique it as we build it. So in the future, if you're watching this video in the future and you're wondering if you should buy the kit, check that first pinned comment, see what people are saying about the kit. Third V0, yes, it's a Lecter kit, and it will be given away. Right now, I'm printing the leg parts because I forgot I needed to print those. They resolved the missing hotend. They are sending me one. Hello from Helsinki. Hello. So yeah, I'm going to try and keep this time about 2 in the afternoon, my time. I might move it a little bit. Sunday might be a little bit later in the day or earlier. We'll see. Did I pay import? Yes, I did. That is something between Canadian Customs and you. Taxes included is American. So, unfortunately, whenever you buy anything from another country and they ship it to Canada, once it hits that border, Canadian Customs wants their cut. Which, unfortunately, means you're probably going to pay... I pay like 13%, I believe. And then whatever, you know, UPS or DHL wants for their blood money. So, for those that missed last week, we went through the kit. We just kind of did a quick overview of the kit itself, saw what was in the box, saw what wasn't in the box. And then we did throw the frame together, but it was just kind of, hey, how big is this thing going to be? So we threw it together. So this frame is not square at all. Like, this is just, you know, not square. So I'm going to go through. The first thing I'm going to do is square up the frame. If you're curious about the frame, it's like the first part in the manual. Let's get some music going. Let's go with chip tunes. So you are going to have to adjust the manual based on the size you are building, obviously. But essentially, we just put the cube together. So as you can see here, mine looks a little bit differenter. It's more squat than it is wide. Or correction, it's more wide than it is tall. Because this is a 350 spec, but I believe I only have like 250 millimeters of Z. Tridents don't scale well in the Z. Because with the Trident, you have the integrated lead screws. Let me grab one here. And these only come in certain sizes. So if you have a 300 millimeter lead screw, which this is, you only have 250 millimeters of Z. So this is going to be like a, this is a short stack build because it's going to be thick but short. So we only have 250 millimeters of Z, but we got 350 on the XY. So it'll be good for PIF, for example. Are they refunding me the tax? I never asked them about it. They might if I do it, but honestly, I'm not gonna hunt down tax because the thing is that's kind of that's outside of their hand too. Help if I grab the right size Allen key. Just use couplers. Don't use couplers. Couplers aren't good. Couplers is how you get the wobbles. Okay, so squaring up the frame. There's a lot of ways to go about squaring up a frame. The easiest way, in my opinion, to do it is to build it on something flat. So for those that watch my V0 marathon build, I bought this little quartz offcut from a countertop manufacturer. 20 bucks, it's quartz. It's pretty flat. It ain't no Starrett layout table, but it's flat enough. So usually what you do is you get, you know, I have a machinist square here. You use that to kind of line up your two pieces. You use the table as a reference to make it flat, and you tighten that corner up. And you do that for all your corners. And usually that's kind of the process I do it. And then you measure corner to corner to adjust. So it's not too complicated. You might have to do a little bit of finessing once you get it all together to make sure everything's lined up. And again, it is a 3D printer. If you can't get it perfect, get it as close as you can, because everything kind of hangs in here. So on a Trident, you got a little bit of wiggle room in your Z, okay? And in most printers, you have a little bit of wiggle room in your Z. It's really your gantry that's got to be the most bang on part. So it's got to be square that way. If you're out on your Z, that's where, you know, trig comes into play and whatnot. And you're going to have, you know, stuff on angles. Now, if you just print, you know, whatever the top print of the month is on our 3D printing, you might never know that your Z is skewed or something like that. You might never know that. But if you're trying to print, you know, geometrically accurate parts consistently that are tall, you might run into issues. So take the time, cross-reference, try and, you know, get your frame as square as possible. I have a ton of countertop manufacturers that I could get offcuts from. That's what I did. Just literally drive around and look for ones that have like an outdoor storage, that have like, you drive by and they got all the slabs of marble just kind of chilling outside. And then just walk inside on like a weekday and be like, hey, do you have any offcuts or scrap cuts? And always offer to purchase. You might get it for free. I know people that have gotten it for free. And they're just like, yeah, the offcuts are over there. If it's under 4x4, you could have it for free. So always be nice, offer to purchase. And usually I pay 20 bucks for this. And yes, it isn't, you know, a layout table. It isn't not, you know, it's not, you know, perfect. But again, we are building a 3D printer. Richard, thank you for becoming a member. How was my Christmas? My Christmas was pretty good. Except for the fact I spent all of Christmas Day itself sick. So that part was not fun. Had a nasty stomach bug. Tool room granite is cheapo. It depends. If you're like buying like a pre-made Starrett layout table, it's not, you know, it's not outrageously expensive until you want to get big, and that's the problem. Like I did look into getting like a granite like layout table, like granite layout slab for this room just to have. The problem is this right here is, let me grab my tape measure. Actually, shoot, my tape measure might not be down here. This is what? A little under 17 inches by what? 24, 26 and a half inches, and it was 20 bucks. You're not gonna find a granite layout slab that cheap anywhere, ever. You're looking like 100 bucks for a 12 by 12 or 12 by 18. I remember it was about 100 bucks for a 12 by 18. It depends where you are too. I live in Canada, so a lot of stuff that is cheap in the US is not cheap up here. Thanks, RJ. Yeah, this chiptune music isn't really vibing right now. $200 is cheap for a layout slab? Yes, yes it is. I should tell you something. All the ads I'm seeing tonight are for immigration to Canada. I mean, if you're okay with the cold. What would I recommend for a first Voron build? It depends what you're looking for. A switch wire is probably the easiest build because it's the simplest machine. But it's a bed flinger. It's not a Core XY. A lot of people build Vorons for the Core XY, right? So it really depends what you're looking for in a machine and what you're looking to get out of it. In reality, none of them are that complicated. The V0 is the trickiest, I would say, to build. Simply for the fact that it's all 15-15 and it's small, compact. The LDO kit makes it a little bit better, and then I also have the Lecter kit from Lecter, which has a lot of LDO parts in it, but it also has a bunch of upgrades. I'll get into that when I get to that kit itself. Negative 39 northern BC. Oof. I'm Southern Ontario, so it's actually it's like 3 or 4 Celsius out right now. Lecter is from Estonia. Yes, they're in the EU. They do ship worldwide, I believe. Well, he shipped me my kit, so. Yeah, I woke up to snow and then it turned to rain. I think this is the last corner. Yes, it does have a spider. It's a spider 2.2. It doesn't have any fancy tool headboards or anything like that. Okay. I think that one's already done. Okay, so we have our frame. So it actually goes like this. And since this is a Trident, one of these has a hole in it. I don't know if you can see it right there. Let me put it in front of my face so you can see the hole. I don't know. I'll look through the camera. There we go. I don't know. One of the bottom extrusions has a hole, and that is for this one vertical here. So let's see, where are we at? Oh, and if you want to know how to do a blind joint, there's a QR code there. I don't know if you can click it. Yeah, you can click it. Hey, there's a video by me on how to do it. So again, for those that don't know, the manuals are currently being updated. The V2 V2.4 R2, so the newest iteration of the V2.4, is currently being worked on, and one of the biggest points of that is upgrading the manual. I will be building an LDO kit of that eventually when they send me one, but I'm not getting a pre-production kit. I'm getting a production kit. So yeah. So let me make sure my frame is square. Where did I put? I had a 24-inch scale, and I don't know where I put it. Did I learn what happened with the missing hot end? So from the best of my knowledge, from those that said they had bought the kit, they said their hot end came wrapped. So what that means is fysetc took it out of the box, wrapped it up, and then put it in the thing. So what I'm guessing is somebody took the hot end out of the box, wrapped it, and then put the empty box in the kit instead of putting the wrapped hot end in the kit. I don't know why they took it out of the package. I don't know if it's the kind of a branding thing. I don't know. But yeah, I found that funny. I need to go get a tape measure. I'll be back in 1 second. So I'm thinking it's something where it's like, you know, pull the pin, throw the grenade. They pulled the grenade and threw the pin type thing. I'll be back in 1 second. I got to go get a tape measure. Okay, I'm back. Anarchy time already? You guys are quick to go to anarchy. It's gonna be annoying because you know your printer builds are getting big when you keep a step stool in the room. So the easiest way is to measure corner to corner. 28 in there. Okay, that's good. Check the other side. So what you do is you just measure corner to corner, and if they're within a millimeter-ish, you're usually good. Yeah, that's okay. I can dig it. And then you should also do the all the sides. It's one of those things. It's tedious. It's annoying. But if you go right now and do your checks now, you'll be hating life less later when you go to build your printer and you start trying to tune it and it keeps binding on you or something like that. Yeah, this is a 350. It's a 350 by 250. It's a squat boy. Yep. So we are good. We are within, well within acceptable, I think. Last one. Yep. We're good. Where's the bottom? Now, unfortunately, my granite chunk isn't big enough here to check the whole thing, but Like it's sitting, when I get 2 corners on it, it's sitting flat. So we're just gonna kind of have to go with it, and that should be okay. What if one side happens to not be square? You're gonna have to start finagling your frame around, loosen up corners, remeasure stuff. You're gonna have to play around to get it square. Now it actually says I should have put these in before I put the top in, but I'm gonna have to take them out now. Yay! Because they slide down. So it is what it is. And then we got to put more in, because we just threw the square together without looking at the instructions last week. So yeah, so before putting those top ones in, you need to drop these down. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is just loosen these and then just drop them. And hopefully not scratch up the anodizing too bad. Now it says use a 330 millimeter extrusion as a Y spacer. To square it up. But the thing is, since I have an oddball size kit, do I even have a 330 piece? I don't think I do. Oh, I do. I do. Right here. How many do I got? 2. Okay. Skyblock is Pong, $9.99. Thank you, appreciate it. Do you know anyone in Florida that could help me fix the frames that wobble on the bottom? Make sure you have it on a square surface.
Do you know anyone in Florida that could help fix the frame of Voron 0.1? Since I have tried remeasuring and stuff for a while and it still has a wobble on the bottom.
Go. So many people are so happy to see a live stream. You know what? I'm happy too. I'm also not happy though that I forgot to turn it back to the main screen. So sorry about that. If I forget to turn the main screen back on, just yell at me, guys. Buy yourself a tool room granite tool block and some machinist squares. Yeah, honestly, go grab a machinist square. These are super handy. At least I didn't mute. Hey, we're getting better. Schlopnat, 20 euro, beep, beep. Text to speech, beep, doot, doot, doot. You know what's funny though? I can't hear that. I need to go through, I've been meaning to do it. I need to switch everything. I'm still on Streamlabs, yes I know. I need to switch everything over to Stream Elements. And part of that is I actually have audio disabled, so I don't actually hear text to speech right now. And I don't know how to disable it. So, yeah.
Beep boop beep text to speech beep doot doot boop. We come for the stream, we stay for the entertainment.
Come for the stream, stay for the entertainment. €5 rolling. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Half the reason I do this. You guys are fun to hang out with. Like, if it wasn't that fun, obviously I wouldn't still be doing this. We're coming up on, oh god, what are we at right now? What are we at right now? We gotta be at a milestone soon. 1 second, let me check something here, guys. Pause the build, pause the build. Content, live. Filters, visibility, public, apply. This is stream, live stream, number 98. This is the 98th live stream I've done. We're coming up on 100. So actually 100 might be Sunday. I have no plans for it, like anything special, but I knew we were coming up on that number. Yeah, first live stream was May 3rd, 2020. And do yourself a favor, don't go back and watch the first stream. It's really bad. Production quality, what's that? Daniel, €20. Thank you, appreciate it, man. Slide down slowly. Oh, don't scratch. Don't scratch, don't scratch. Of course I can't loosen it. There we go. Okay. Oh, the audio back then was horrible. Happy holidays, greeting from Belgium. Happy holidays. Hope we had a good Christmas. Or whatever non-denominational Festivus New Year's celebration.
Happy holidays. Greetings from Belgium.
Okay. Use a TS100. Yes, I have a TS100. That's usually what I use. Have I seen the proper printing belted extruder? Yes, I watched the video. The thing is, though, I didn't really see it print. So I can't really judge it at all without seeing quality. It is a thing. If it works, that'd be great. I don't know how it handled torque and slippage might be an issue. It's hard to say how it would behave without actually, you know, seeing it properly running. Get in your hole. There we go. I won't be, put it this way, I'm not going to be giving up my LGXs anytime soon. How am I finding the rep box? I like it. It's working pretty good, actually. There we go. LGX CW2. I haven't actually tested the CW2 yet. So I can't really comment on it. I haven't tested it yet. I am very much one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the machines that I have running LGXs are running just fine. Now, this will probably get a CW2 at some point. I am building this fully stock right off the bat, just so you guys are aware. I am building this with an afterburner. I've got, you know, parts printed here. I'm building this stock to spec first, because one, the fans and everything that come with it are afterburner fans. So I am building it stock, and then we'll modify it. Will stealth burner fit on an LGX? That has an LGX, and that has an LGX, and they both have stealth burner, so yes. Yes, they will. So I gotta put my, what extrusion is that? H extrusion. So I gotta put my H extrusion. Which one's the H extrusion? $330. Okay. This one. Should we point out he missed the back extrusion again? You don't need to point it out. I already know I did. Have I tried the LGX Lite yet? I have not. I have not.
Rebuilding my original cable loom for a fysetc V2.4 with a KB3D FEP kit. The original cables are either silicone or PVC.
Echo 2 Papa 2, $5. Thank you, appreciate it. Rebuilding my original cable loom from fysetc 2.4 with a KB3D FEP kit. The original cables are either silicone or PVC. I think in this kit they are a mixture. There is some FEP or PTFE. I'm not 100% sure which, but there is some good cables in here. That is one thing I'm thinking is going to be lacking on this kit is wiring. So speaking of, terminology kind of needs to change in regards to these kits. I've started calling them two different styles. You have kits. Now, in terms of what I would consider a kit, really only LDO is making them right now, and the Lecter kit I got there. But when I'm thinking kit, I'm thinking you literally just put it together, okay? Everything is in the box, minus tools. You unbox it, you slap it together, boom, it prints. Very minimal DIYing other than assembly. What this is more, and what a lot of like the AliExpress kits are, I'm personally referring to them as bomb in a box, where it's not really a kit. It is somebody just went and collected the bomb and threw it in a box and sold it. So yes, it is a kit, but it's a bomb in a box. So I'm starting to differentiate them between the two by calling them that. I don't know if that'll take off, but that's kind of what I've started to do. Hey, it's square. BOM. B-O-M. Bill of materials. Not bomb. Would I consider? Maybe. I'm not going to go out and buy one. But, you know, if one showed up at my doorstep, I would like to build a non-Voron at some point. Other than, you know, like an off-the-shelf printer. Okay, so we have this now. And it looks a heck of a lot different than what I got because this is a fat boy. A rat rig kick if one shows up. So there we go. So we've got our frame built. And then if you also have a machinist square, you can go around and, you know, make sure all your corners are square, which they are. I can dig it. Yeah, it's a 350. And when you screw together, you don't need to Loctite the screws, but you do want to make sure they are tight, because you are going to be manhandling this thing and smashing cameras on the ceiling with it. So you are going to want to make sure that it is, you know, tight. There we go. Did I break the camera? No, I did not break the camera. The camera is good. We're good. We're good. Ain't that AA kit bomb in a box? Incendiary device in a box. Idlers! Okay, so it looks like we're going right onto the gantry, which is good because I have the Z parts that, you know, step this guy up even taller. Are on the machine right now. Actually, these ones are done. Ta-da! And back in the printer. Oh, and shout out to Fabrico. They hooked me up with a bunch of custom flex plates that have the Nero 3D logo on them. So shout out to Fabrico because he sent me a whole whack load of these for all my printers. So these are cool. Okay, and I think it's about that time. You whiny mopey mutt. Obvious, thank you for becoming a member. I don't have any. I don't have any.
Build Nero.
You
Is
ate
there
them
a
all.
Rapido toolhead for AB?
You ate them all. You ate them all. Oh my god. Oh my god. Tomas, yes, there is a Rapido toolhead for the Stealth Burger. I don't know if it's on the GitHub yet, but there is one because I'm running one. Okay. No, I don't have any. Go see Mama. Mama has the treats. I don't have any. I don't have any. You want ear scritches? Okay. Okay. I don't have any. I gotta work. Oh my god. I'm trying to get work done here. Okay. Okay. I don't have anything. I'm sorry. You ate them all. And we gotta go buy more. Needy pupper. Needy pupper. John Clark, $10. Doggo for Duff.
Doggo.
And Faulty Giant, $6.99. Doggo. He has treats upstairs. See, the problem is my wife brought down treats once, and then he came here down during a stream and he got a treat. So now he keeps thinking
Doggo
anytime I'm in this
for
room,
Duff.
he gets treats. And I'm trying to wean him off that behavior. I just bought my first mold base for a Boy injection mold machine. Any hot tips or things I should know? Injection mold machines are hot. Don't touch it. Don't touch the barrel. Don't let plastic sit in the barrel too long while it's hot. It will degrade. I could talk about injection molding for quite a while. I don't actually, okay,
Just
to be fair, I build the molds. I don't actually run the molding machine.
Any hot tips or things I should know?
How's his ear doing? A bit better. He's on medication for it. It's because his ears flop down, like his ears flop down. They don't get like, they're always like wet or something like that. There's something with it. And he's getting older, so. Okay, so we are going to AB idler. So, zoom in. So we got our A drive, B idler, A idler. Why is that there? As you have likely skipped right over the advice to flip through the entire manual, we added graphics like these to allow you to get a sense of the part orientation before you actually put them on the printer. Hey! So, let's get my heatset iron set up. So what filament? Oh yeah, so for filament, I have most of the parts printed. I still got a few to print. Colors are horrible on this camera, but this is Prusament Orange ASA and Natural ASA. Colors are a bit better on this camera. Or actually, there you go. So we got Prusament Orange ASA and Natural ASA. So there's a big old box of parts. And some of these are printed on Toasty, but most of these parts are printed on V226 back there, and they are printed with the Revo, because I got to do a review on that thing at some point. You know, I've been printing with one since June. How tight are tolerances? Tight enough without being too tight. Like, you want to make sure that, like, screws go through them and everything. So what I'm going to do is make sure for this step how many heat sets we got to do. And yes, my organization system of just throwing everything in a box is super awesome. It's always fun having to dig for everything. Okay, so I think it's just the 2 heat sets. Or the 3. Yeah, it's just the 3. Okay. Did I get a production Revo? Yep, I've got 2. I got a Revo Micro, is in V226 here, and then a Revo 6 is in the switch wire. This is the first print off the Revo 6 in the switch wire. It actually handles multi-material, like the tips, very, very well. So this is actually the very first print off a Revo 6 that I had. And it's the good old multi-material classic frog. I did nothing. I just threw it in the machine, did a PID tune, and sent it. Yeah, Prusa ASA is expensive. I want to give a shout out again to the Czech channel on the Voron Discord, because they not only did they hook me up with the Raptor, Sanity got a few boxes of Prusa in the shipment as well, which is what I used for this. How hard would it be to configure ERCFA with an IDEX for hips? So what are you referring to? Like one tool head that's connected to an ERCFA for a bunch of one cut material and then a separate tool head for hips itself? I'm not sure how you would be able to. I'm sure you could do that. You'd have to sit down and make all the macros for it. Insight on 2.4 R2. Steve builds. He's another guy on the channel, or on the Steam, or what am I talking about? The Voron team. He's building one right now off an LDO kit. He's got a pre-production one. Basically, 2.4 R2 is just an iteration improvement on the 2.4. It's not 2.5 because there's not enough of it to be justified calling it 2.5. But essentially, it's a bunch of minor changes, and the gantry from the Trident is brought into the V2. And then Stealth Burner and Clockwork 2, I believe, are slated for it. I'm not 100% sure. Owen Wagner, $10. I'm planning a 2.4 build in January. Do you have any tips for keeping the frame as square as possible during assembly? Build it square and make sure the screws are tight, and don't reef on it while you're building it. And it shouldn't change. Like, this frame right here, I don't know. I built it in early 2018. I haven't noticed any squareness issues in 3 years. So, over the donation rate. Is it that loud? I can't hear it anyway. For some reason, it's broken. Let me turn the volume down on it. There we go. Okay. So, component prep. So we put the heat sets in. Heat sets, M5 nuts. Yeah, I need to turn that off. I can turn it off. I like having it when it was working, because then I could hear it. So if I was, looking over here when a donation came in, I noticed, but okay, these are gonna fall out. So, little cheater tip: if you have to use M5 nuts anywhere, or any nuts that are captive that could fall out, so you got your nut and it just falls out, put a little dab of super glue on the nut before you put it in. And that way, it shouldn't move on you. So we'll just kind of put that there, put it aside, let it set. And then that way you won't have to. This is super handy on the V2.4, the feet, because you got those little nuts that you have to stay in position to screw the feet into on the Z modules, but they have a tendency to kind of fall out of position. So just put a little dab of super glue on them before you put them in, and then that way they'll just kind of stay in their position until you get the screw in them. Fabric wrap wires. No, you want to use like PTFE. That's another thing in 2.4 R2. It will be the spec will no longer be silicone, even though most of us have moved beyond silicone. It'll be the PTFE or the FEP wire. JB Weld light activate. Exactly. Anything sort of 2.4 R2 and eliminates that. Oh, okay. And there you go. So now we got to do this little part. For those that so a lot of this, if you've built the 2.4 or you've watched me build my 2.4 or even my 1.8, some of this is going to be very redundant because the gantry is for the most part the same on all three with some slight variances, and going forward even the gantry on the Trident and the 2.4 R2 will be the same. So we're going to be treading some waters that we've treaded before. So we're going to be building our front idlers here, you know, the whole bearing stack and all that jazz. So let me find the bearings. You can go up there for now. Bearings, bearings, bearings. Which box has my bearings? Bearings. Cool. KB3D, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too. Bearings. This is a fysetc parts kit. So match these up. So you've seen these a billion times, but so that one will go that and like that. Okay, so an M540 up from the bottom. This screw is used to align components and will be removed at a later step. And M5 spacer. So we're going to need 2. Bearings and then that. So anytime you're building a bearing stack, it's F6, it's washer, bearing, bearing, washer. It's always like that. Okay. And then we put the other part on. And then we need to ensure that on the top here, we have the where the screw head would go, so then the hex on the bottom. So remove the screw, slide the tensioner arm into place, and then slide it in from the top. So we're gonna pinch it, let it drop out, and we've already lost it. So I'm gonna go do it the way I like doing it. Where is it? There we go. I'm cheating because I have a million of these. M5 dowel, because I've got a ton of these. So put your M5 dowel in there. I need a longer one. That'll do. M5 dowel. Bearing stack. Lose the bearing underneath your granite layout table. Top. And then you use your push it through. There we go. Now, of course, this won't work if you've glued your washer in or your nut in, but now you can just screw them together. And we're good. Ta-da! There's the first one. We got our little bit of movement. You want it tight, but it needs to be able to move. So, not so tight that it doesn't move, but you want it to be pretty firm. Yeah, you're basically making a flange bearing. So, the reason you see these bearing stacks everywhere is, let me find one. Here's the thing. When you look at these typical all-in-one bearings, right? Okay. So you got your flange bearing, right? Okay. When you look at these, look how little the bearing is itself. Like, yeah, you know, you got that, but look how little that bearing is. Those are pin bearings. They usually don't last that long, and they're not meant for super heavy load versus, you know, underneath that washer, you got ball bearings, you know? So these bearings, the F695, they're proper bearings. These pin bearings, they don't last that long. So personally, I use these F695 stacks everywhere. But that's just me. Now, you will have people say, oh, but I can see, you see the tooth marks if you use them on a belt, right? So if you have the teeth in on a belt, you see tooth marks. But, not really. You have enough teeth in contact with the belt at all times that you really shouldn't see that belt pattern in your print unless you over tighten your belts way too much. And the thing is, a lot of people over tighten their belts way too much. So if you kind of chill a little bit on your belt tension, odds are you can get away with smooth idlers everywhere. Come on. Come on. No, don't you do this to me. There we go. So, a little bit of a trade-off. The potential for having the potential for having teeth marks in your prints or much longer life of your idlers. Personally, I'm for reliability. That's just me. Yes, I use all my gantries use F695s. I don't have tooth idlers in any of my printers. This one I will, because a kit comes with them, and I need to judge the kit. So I will build it with everything that I need to build it with that comes with the kit. So. How do you align them? What do you mean align them? Oh, for the thing? You just put them in there. If they float a little bit, I think that you use a, do I have any spacers in there? Yeah, you just use a shim. One on the top, one on the bottom. What about pin mods for idlers? We've tested it. It's pretty much no gain. There's really no visible difference, other than harder to source parts. Like we looked into pins. Originally the V, just so you know, like Voron started off with pins and then moved to screws because it really didn't matter. And then also shoulder bolts. So shoulder bolts are basically a screw where only like the bottom part is a screw and the rest is a pin. And we've tried that in the past, and again, you can't really see any difference. So. Still using a different hot end? Yes, I will be using a different hot end because it's a dragon. We know a dragon works. So I'm going to try something different. Okay, so now we need an M3 washer and an M340. So 2 and 3. Oh, no, those are what? Nuts. Two of these. And 340s. Like, it is nice that everything's in one box, but it's kind of annoying because they do have a lot of stuff in bags. So you got like 3 different things in one little container. So for those curious, all the screws and everything are in one container right here. So don't drop it. Did you see the Priofino motors for the i3? They claim their optimized motors eliminate vertical lines and artifacts. I honestly find that extremely hard to believe. Unless, like, there are so many variables that affect what everyone calls, issue 6, VFD, whatever. There's so many different variables that can cause that outcome. Saying it's just the motor. When people are convinced it's the extruder, when people are convinced it's the filament, I'd have to see hard data. But yeah, I find that hard to believe. Because somebody would have slapped a servo on something at one point and it would have eliminated that completely. So. Okay, so what are those circles? We use these circles to draw your attention to certain features, orientation, and important bits, quite often without adding additional text. If you see any circles, pay attention. Check your work. Compare the assembly parts to the graphics shown here. Okie dokie. Okay, so that one's there. And then that one is there. Okie dokie, we are good. Ta-da! So there's our front idlers. Now our A drive. Jason! Hey, Jason! I see Jason spying on the competition. Okay, so now we are on to the A drive. So A drive has the little notch cut out here for your wires. So we got some M530 button heads, 2 of them. Then we have ourselves a good old-fashioned bearing stack. So on this one we got a double, and on this one we got a single. So $13.50. That's actually dang good, Jason. $13.50 US. Now, don't forget, guys, it's $13.50 plus your hot end, plus shipping, probably plus tax. But still, that's... So again, remember when you're doing bearing stacks, it's always washer, bearing, bearing, washer. And then since we have a double here, so it's washer, bearing, bearing, washer, washer, bearing, bearing, washer. Pattern always repeats. And then these are only screwing into plastic. So they're just there to keep everything aligned. You don't need to reef these in. This just kind of... You just kind of stay there. So tighten them down, don't over tighten, and make sure everything still moves freely. Go. And we're good. So put that together, put the top on, don't over tighten. Now we need a motor, which are in right here. And we're gonna need a if you tighten one of those screws and they spin too freely, you have some options. How freely? You don't want that screw walking out. That's your thing. If there's no play in it and the screw decides to not walk out ever, you might be okay. You might be wanting to reprint. Personal choice. Personally, I'd reprint if you're building still. But that's just me. Have I finished upgrading my end? No, the ender has been on the back burner for a while. I've just been too busy, unfortunately. Okay, so insert both grub screws and use thread locker on all scrub screws. Loose grub screws account for the majority of issues that users report. Save yourself hours of trouble and apply thread locker on all grub screws during the build. I'm cheap and my thread locker long since seized up on me, so I use clear nail polish. Get it at the dollar store. Go buy the cheapest stuff. I'm using Sally Hansen Hard as Nails Extreme Wear. It works just fine as a DIY impromptu thread locker. Don't need to go crazy with it. A little dab will do ya. Oh god, I'm a beauty YouTuber now. Talking about nail polish. Okay, now, to make things a little bit easier, the days of having to manually line up everything, we now have a printed jig. So what you do is you put that there, and that kind of tells you where your belts go. So you can use the printed jig now to line up everything. So since this is the A motor, voila. Check. Oh, no, I moved it. Shoot. There we go. So voila. Everything's nice and tight. Double check. We're good. And then pay attention to the orientation of the cable exit. So it looks like it goes that way. M330s. Wait, M340s. Where's my M330s? M330s. Go in here. Make sure you get all your screws started before you screw them in tight. Battery dead? No. Just doesn't want to go in smooth. Can we win the chance to pre-order the 2.4 kit? Not up to me. There we go. Make sure everything still spins freely. Bada bing, bada boom. Check your work. Compare the assembled with the graphic. We are good. And now, we do the other one. Now remember, one side has countersinks or counterbores for the screw heads. The other side is flat. So the top is that side with the counterbores. And we just do the same thing again. So again, this is probably the 4th time you guys see me build one of these. So shouldn't come as news or be new to anyone here. Prusa orange. Yeah, this is actually Prusament ASA orange. So it is the Prusa color. Who knows? I might turn this into an IDEX at some point. Give the XL a little competition. Oh, okay. Now, again, for the B, your 22th gear is upside down. And you're using the B side for alignment. Hey, come here to support Nero. Is it good to talk about LDO kit when we stream fysetc? Honestly, man, you guys talk whatever about you want. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, you can't talk about it because I'm building this. You guys can talk about whatever you want, as long as it's within TOS. Don't need to be swinging my band hammer. See, my problem with kits, here's my problem with kits, is now I can't be all, back in my day, we used to have to self-source everything and build our Vorons looking at a video on YouTube that showed 2 parts for 30 seconds and figure it all out. You guys have it easy. Now all your wiring's pre-done, your screws come in nice little packages, and you have the right amount. You guys have it easy. Member for 12 months. Wow. Holy crap. It's been that long, eh? Yeah, it was about this time last year I turned all that stuff on. Muds, thank you for becoming a member. Oop. Somebody's banging on my door. What do you want? You want to say hi? Say hello.
Hello.
Say hello. Look at the camera. Cheese click. Yep. You want to feed Coda? There we go. Oh, these are new ones. What does that say?
Chocolate.
Chocolate? No, it's not chocolate. Here, this is for Coda. Can you give this to Coda?
Let go.
Oh, yeah, give it to Coda. To Coda. Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
No, not.
Yeah, give it to the puppy. Close enough. How you doing? You want lunch soon? You want dinner soon? Are you hungry?
No.
No? You just wanted to visit?
Well, he's trying to get mom in his tent.
Oh. You know Mom won't fit in your tent. Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. Here you go. Here, take these. Take those to Mama. There you go.
Happy holidays to you and
Now the
yours.
dog will follow.
Cheers to more growth
There we
in
go.
2022.
Yeah, so much for training for the dog not to expect. How old? Calvin's 3.5. Remy Gagne, cool. Me too. Cool. Oop, red one. Where's that? KB3D 100. Thank you, appreciate it. Happy holidays to you and yours. Cheers to more growth in 2022. Here's hoping. I'm really hoping that next year is like the year for the channel. This year's growth was beyond. I'll talk about it next stream. Or yeah, the next stream will be the last one for the year, so I'll talk about it then. But I pretty much hit every goal I wanted to do with the channel, so it was a good year. So where are we at? Where are we at? Okay, so we got that. We got that. Got that. Compare your work. It looks like that. We're good. Okay. And now we're going to be putting it in the printer. So we need some M5 T-nuts. And they go in orientated like that. All I smell is nail polish now. This one make it a little bit easier. What time is it anyways? 3:25. Okay. The latest I'm going to stream to today is 5 because I got to make dinner. So just so you guys are aware. We'll say kudos to them. These the T-nuts go in the extrusions very well. At least the ones I've put in so far. So I know there's a few different types of extrusions and T-nuts that kind of don't work too good. These ones seem to be working pretty okay. So no complaints there. Do I think Prusa ASA is printable without an enclosure? I didn't try. I'm printing it with an enclosure right now. Anytime ASA, ABS, any plastic that benefits from high ambient temperatures, you want to always try and print it enclosed. Yes, you know, with, you know, eSun ABS Plus, for example, you can print that unenclosed as long as you have the right settings and you don't have a draft. However, the prints will still be stronger with printing in an enclosure. And you want to, you know, you want the strongest prints you can. You want the best advantage you have. Roland, member for 11 months. Jeez, it's been that long. First year I built my, or a year ago I built my first Voron. Congrats. Before you know it, you'll have like half a dozen of them. And you'll lose count and you won't even know which. That's V226. That is V2003. That's switch wire 2. I don't know the serial number for Yukon. I don't know the serial number for Toasty. Tallboy is V2. I want to say 579. Yeah. Oop.
So far good quality kit?
I should have like a plaque or something with it, but so far good quality kit. Nice 3DP, $2. Thank you, appreciate it. So far it's okay. It's a good combination of parts in a box. That Voron Delta? No, that's an FL Sun Super Racer. I wish it was called a Speed Racer, but it's just called a Super Racer. Okay, so now we got to put our idlers in. Oh, probably got to loosen this a bit. There we go. Can add those serials to my video description. I could, but just kind of like how I'm on Discord. My name now is just Voron's Many or something like that. M510. Like that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna update my Discord to be that. It's just Uber Vorons. Yes. Have I played around with any metal fill? I have copper fill, but I think that's more just cosmetic. I don't have any of the like really strong stuff. It's supposed to be for like I don't know, like you know, the industrial stuff. I haven't played with any of that stuff. I will say these front idlers are a lot less painful to play with when you don't have to worry about belts. You just gotta screw them into position and you're done. No block and tackle to deal with. And do the other side. If there are any mods for the RepRap discount full graphics controller, are you talking about mods for like a mount for it? Because Vorons are 2020. You can just use any mount for 2020 extrusion. If you want to use like the big chunky boy, like where is it? I know I have one somewhere. I know I have one somewhere. I don't know where I put it. You know, like the big 12864. If you want like the OG big fat one, go download like the original like Voron V1.5 repo or V1.0 repo, and I believe there is a mount for it in there. And then you just gotta adjust your firmware for it. Is this a sausage party? Well, according to my YouTube statistics, 99.2% of you are male, so yes. Let's see here. Analytics. Engagement. What is it? Audience. Audience. There we go. Okay, is anything discriminating on the screen? No. No, we're good there. There you go. 99.1% of you guys are male. 0.09% are female. And the average age is 25 to 44. So yes, it's a middle-aged sausage party in here. It is what it is. The CF nylon parts. If you didn't notice, I did reprint a lot of the parts. Anything structural, I reprinted in PA12 high temperature nylon that I actually got from Fatus, and it's been holding up just fine. So. Last stream I showed you a Trident. I can't remember. There's a website you can go to customize Voron frame colors if you want. Right now I just have I do have the Fusion up. So tip, if you're building a Voron, you know, have your manual open, but also open up like Fusion 360 with the CAD so that you could, oh man, it's been a while. How do I, oh, I gotta hold shift, right? Yeah. Yeah, have Fusion open so you can see the actual CAD, because having a 3D model to, you know, zoom around and compare and look at can be super helpful. So always try and have the CAD open on a computer along with your manual. Is that the Ultra PCAF by Fatus? I believe so. It's really stiff. It is very stiff. Like even the filament itself is very stiff. Like I thought it was gonna break in the Bowden tube. It's so stiff. And that's after drying it for like a day. But it worked. And the parts are holding up really good. I'm going to reprint these. The first batch of parts that I actually printed for this, I'm probably going to reprint because there's a few parts I just don't like the looks of. Yeah, that's not too bad. My flex plate was actually starting to go and had a bunch of bubbles in it. So the parts, the first layer is a little uneven in a bunch of them. Not a chance. Thank you for coming a member. Okay, and now we are putting on our... AB motor mounts. Printed parts with old and new flex plates. Well, just like the old flex plate that I had on V226 was quite old, and I don't know, it wasn't giving me consistent first layers because it was bubbling. Like there's a ton of little bubbles in here. So the first layer kind of wandered, and it wasn't because of the machine, it was because there were little itty bitty bubbles all under the flex plate. So now I've got the Fermio plates in there nice and flat, like super flat. I don't know, can't see. They're good. Freak 3D Forge, thank you for becoming a member. Oh, and I did put it out for those that missed it. I did put out the members stream. Going forward, I am going to be doing a monthly members stream. Usually near the end of the month, mid to end of the month. It's just going to be a QA and hangout for like an hour, hour and a half. And then the next month I'll make it live for everyone. I hate permanently gatekeeping stuff behind paywalls. But I have no, I think a little bit of a preview is fair. Oop, that actually is supposed to be a M3. There we go. Okay, so I'm putting on, it says to put the this one on first. That one's easy. But on the A motor mount, underneath you have this little you have this little stopper here, and this is for your end stop. So M3 T9. And Bradley, thank you for coming a member. Everybody know what you would use each Voron for? Whatever you want to use them for. The choice is yours. Is that lined up? Hopefully that's lined up. What's your guys' suggestions why RPI got serious shortages? It's just a global chip shortage, Jason. Anything electronic is a pain, like video cards right now. So, I don't know. I've got a bunch of Pi Zeros, Pi Zero 2s. Put it this way, this kit comes with a Raspberry Pi 4. I'm not putting that in. I'm stealing this and putting a Raspberry Pi Zero 2 in here. Because I'm keeping the Pi 4. I want it. There we go. So yeah, there's this little accent part here, and this is your for your X, Y, and stop. So for your Y. So for those curious, it goes right there. If you're using the Hall effect, you break out a little part there. I'm not using the Hall effect. So there we go, and that goes underneath. So that's an M312 and an M516. The problem with the suitable replacement, there's like the orange pies and whatnot, but they don't really run. They have issues with like clipper and like the interfaces and whatnot, I believe, like fluid and mainsail. Because they're not standard, so like a lot of the Raspberry Pi based operating systems, they don't translate over too well, and there's a lot of variances. Raymond might know more about it if he's here. I believe he's fiddled with that at some point. Okay, so this is the D extrusion. Oh, I gotta put the other one on. Yeah, you can't get pre-built OS images, so it's nowhere near as easy. You have to like build your own image every time, and updates may break things. It's the thing is, the Raspberry Pi, it's like Apple, right? You know, Apple software works just fine on Apple hardware. But once you start playing with Hackintoshes, you know, you might have issues. It's kind of like the same thing like that, where, yeah, you can run, you know, Clipper on, you know, an Orange Pi. I have an Orange Pi Zero somewhere. I ran Clipper on it. But it's a pain in the butt to get it installed, and you run into little issues like, oh, hey, the Wi-Fi just doesn't work, and whatnot. So, I don't know. Not stable supplying to. Yeah, the Pi Zero 2 is new. That's the problem. There is no. Heck, I've heard of. I'm not gonna say who, but I had a supplier mention they're just gonna ship the kit and have, you know, Marlin installed for the printer, because, you know, pretty much all Vorons can run with Marlin, right? You know, like a V0, you can run just an SKR running Marlin. You don't need Clipper. And they might just, you know, sell kits with just Marlin on an SKR, and, you know, discount the price of the Pi because they can't get Pis. And then, hey, if you want to put Clipper on it later, you just buy a Pi and do it yourself. But that is a possibility. Okay, so now I gotta put this crossbar in. It doesn't say anything. Where is D? D extrusion. Shouldn't D have a hole in the middle? Where are we at? Where are we at? I went too far. Yeah, slide rear crossbar in. Yeah, D extrusion. No hole. Then where does this go to? Oh, attached to the two angle brackets only. Okay. Fine by me. So my problem here is, what is D on this printer? It's that one. Is it that one? No. I think they put a hole in it. That is too long. Yeah, they put a hole in mine. Yeah, they put a hole in mine. Like, I guess it doesn't hurt. Why did they put a hole there? I don't know, but I have a hole there because I've only got 4 extrusions left. Hopefully there was nothing in there I needed, because that all just went in the garbage. got 4 extrusions left. I got one that is my D, and I'm thinking it's the D, and that fits in there. I've got one that's way too long. One that's way too long. And one that's too short, which I'm assuming is XY. So, no screw, Steve said. Okay, Steve said no screw, no screw. The extrusion with the hole is for the bed. Oh! Then I guess it's this one is D. Let me double check. But the problem is I can't go off of what the sizes say here because my frame's not spec. F extrusion. Okay, I see, yeah, okay. So it would be 240 plus 9, no, plus 100. So it'd be 340, right? Right, it'd be 340. $330. Why is it 330? That's the right. Well, it's 330, so the one with the hole is for the bed, so they cut this one 10 mil short. So it is 10 millimeters short. Hey, Steve. And what the heck is this one? Ooh, I might have some funky extrusion issues here. Let's check. So H, how big is H? 330. Okay, that's 330. This one is 332. And then I got another one with a hole in it. $332. Is the rear bed frame. Am I missing an extrusion then? What do you mean my frame is upside down? See here. Yeah, it's calling for D. I only have 4 extrusions here. If it's not working, it's upside down. That makes no sense. Yeah, the only one I have that's 340 long has a hole in the middle. So where's the bed at? Let me... Yeah, so I've got... These are what I got, okay? I've got a 330, a 340, whatever this is, and a whatever this is. Last one on the left. That has a hole in the middle, though. And apparently the hole in the middle is for the bed. Let me pull up the bed. Let me pull up the bed and see what I gotta make for the bed. Yeah, because the longest one is the gantry. The gantry's gonna be in here. Yeah. So I've got two with holes in the middle. I've got a long one with a hole in the middle and a short one with a hole in the middle. Yeah, I've got two with holes in the middle. Yeah, 340. So yeah, so they put a hole in the middle for no reason. And the long one is the front bed frame. Is it supposed to be almost... Okay, is the bed frame supposed to be the same size as like your XYs and whatnot? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Now, okay, that makes sense. So that's that, that's that. So it is this one with the hole in the middle. They just put a hole in the middle. Okay. Man, you guys were confusing me. You're all like, oh my god, it shouldn't have a hole. They decided to give me an extra hole. Free hole. I'm not going to turn down a free hole. It's a 350. It's a 350 build, not a 300. Come on, get in your home. There we go. It's in the hole. Okay. Now, where were we on the manual? Because now I got to put a bunch of stuff in. Okay, M5T nuts. I don't know if fysetc built one of these. I do not know. whole bunch of M510s. What is Toasty Boy? Toasty Boy ain't printing anything. V226 is printing more parts for this that I forgot to print yet. The little feet. I didn't print any of the skirt stuff yet because I wanted to get everything mostly done, and then I had to print some other stuff, and then I'm gonna throw the 0.8 in there to do the skirts, but I forgot that the feet for this thing are kind of critical because they sit on the feet, so I need to print the feet. So that's what we're doing right now. They got one built, saw it on their Black Friday stream. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, no, that's M3. There we go. So much nicer to work on printers when you don't have the bed in it. Pro tip for anyone, never put the bed in until the very end. They're heavy. I will say I'm really digging these colors. The orange be poppin'. Voron Dreamsicle. Yeah. I still have a an orange Dreamsicle slice popsicle on my desk. Okay, so now I need these printed blocks, it looks like. 1, 2. Okay, now I see it. Yeah, because these aren't square. That's right. So for those curious, wrong button. There we go. Okay. So if you look at it, this extrusion, because this is now inset because it's mounted into here, this actually doesn't line up with here. So if you try to screw this into here directly, it'd be bad. So the blocks have little steps on them for lining up. That makes sense now. Howard drops fine. What drops? What? Oh, the candies. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had any of them yet. I've actually been sick most of the holidays so far. Today and yesterday were like the first days I haven't been quite ill, unfortunately. So I will have the candies. I'll have some when I finish, when we get to the end of the stream. How's that? No printed parts. Yes, correct. I don't think there's any kit. Well, the Lecter kit I have for V0 has printed parts, but there's no like official, like most kits don't come with printed parts. And going off of from pictures I've seen of other people who have bought printed parts off AliExpress, you don't want the printed parts that would come with the kit off AliExpress. Let's just put it that way. They're not that good. And I'm not talking, you know, oh hey, I threw a cardboard box on my Ender and I printed them in eSun ABS Plus and they came out okay good. I'm talking like, no, they're bad. Where's my square? How square are you? Okay, I have to adjust that ever so. Adjust this just a bit. This is where that machinist square comes in handy. Were they ABS? I think they were ABS. I don't know. I only saw pictures of them. Formbot has 2,000 V2 kits sold. Oof. That is a lot. Trident's relatively new. Trident is still relatively new, so I think you'll start seeing more people build Tridents because it has the fancy 3-point bed leveling that everyone's all into. So people will probably jump on that because it's a simpler build. A lot of people seem to think the flying gantry isn't good. It's been working fine for 3 years. But, you know. Okay, how square am I? I got... yeah, I can dig it. So that is good there. Upside down assembly. For ease of assembly, we recommend to flip the printer on its head for the next steps. Okie dokie. So now I need to put M3 T-nuts in and an MGN 9. Ooh. So I gotta grease these. I didn't grease these. Uh-oh. Where's my grease? So I'm gonna do what I did with the, I need to go get a little spout. I'll be back in 1 second. 1 minute. BRB. I'm back. Okay, so I used to be very stickler for greases and whatnot, and then one day I woke up and I realized it's a 3D printer. So when it comes to grease, for bearings, I like to pack them, but for rails, I've just started using this spray-on. Any recommended brand? I don't know. This I found in a toolbox and it's probably older than me. It's metal. Don't get one too big because you want to be able to like get in and measure. So I don't know. This one's half the time they're in inches. This one's an inch one. This one's like a 4x7. So yeah. So to grease your bearings, you got to get grease on the actual bearings. If you try to put grease or oil on the rail itself and then do this, it ain't gonna work because the rubber wiper will stop it from getting in. So you either use like a pin to get it in there, but lately I've just been using spray on white lithium, and you just kind of spritz it in there. And then move them around. Do it again. And wipe it off, and that's good enough, honestly. I haven't been crazy into over greasing in a while. This is how I did V0 Yukon, and it's been holding up just fine. And then, of course, you don't want your rails bone dry, because if they're bone dry and they're not stainless, they'll rust. So just kind of rub a little bit extra grease into the rail. Don't dry it off, like wipe it off, but you don't want it bone dry, essentially. If it's bone dry, it'll rust. If you want, you can cover them with like a light coat of WD-40. That is a common thing people do. Good enough. What about CLP? That's an oil. Personally, I'm I prefer greases to on bearings. I find grease works a lot better on bearings, but that's just me. So we'll get the rails in, and then probably after I get the rails in, I might have to call it at that point. Can I show the can? It's what is it? WD-40 Specialist High Performance White Lift and Grease. I know. I picked it up at Home Depot. It works. So every other hole. So one. How many do I got for that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're putting in T-nuts. How does it compare to PTFE WD-40? I've never tried PTFE WD-40, so I can't really say. I normally use white lithium grease of some sort on my bearings, and it's works okay. Again, these are 3D printers, guys. They're not running in super high temperature environments. They're not, you know, we're not moving around 20,000 pound gantries on CNC machines with 3-inch depth of cut, you know, with a 6-inch face mill on it. The 3D printer. So as long as your bearings are wet, you should be good. M3, what screws are we using here? M3/8. I haven't tried every product ever. I have not. I'm working on it, but unfortunately there's a lot of products out there. So what I like to do is just get the screws started, obviously. Don't screw them tight. I like to get them all started at least, so I can make sure everything's lined up. It's easier to line it up when everything's nice and loosey-goosey. And then you put your jigs on, and you line everything up good, and then you screw them down. Final. What I'm really hoping, it'd be nice to see, is they accounted for these, the lengths. Because that's one of the more common problems with the bomb in a box, is they're usually short on screws because they don't get enough screws for, like, you know, they get screws for like the shortest length amount of rails. So in this case, I think it would be like 8, 6 or something like that instead of 10. So you'd be short some screws. So hopefully they didn't do that, but that's a common thing you see with bomb in a box kits. Okay, put our guides on. And then what I do is I start in the middle and just kind of work my way out in finger tight, and then go through and actually tight. good. Okay. And there we go. And that is one rail done. Easy peasy. Yeah, WD-40, for those that don't know, like base WD-40 is not a grease. It's not a lubricant. It's a degreaser and water prevention. So if you don't want your rails to rust, spray them with WD-40. They shouldn't rust. However, it won't lubricate your carriage. So lubricate your carriage and then spray some WD-40 on a rag and wipe it on your rails and you should be good. You won't have rust and your rails will be nice and smooth. Or you do what I do and just smear grease all over them and just kind of let it be. It is what it is. No Loctite? Why would you need Loctite? One, two, three, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You only need Loctite in situations where like vibration would work the screws out, or you're unable to torque the screws fully due to, say, you need to keep like the nut loose. Okay. In our situation here, you can torque your screws to spec, and if you torque your screws to spec, they should hold just fine. I don't think I've ever had a screw walk out on a rail, ever. And I've never Loctited them. Red Loctite on the rails. Yeah, if you never want to take your printer apart, well, to be fair, you can take it apart. You're just going to have to, you know, get a blowtorch and heat it up really hot. So what I'm doing right now, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can't see because maybe you can see there. No, you can't. Whatever. I'm just holding the rail next to the extrusion just so I can line up all the M3 nuts. That way I'm not, you know, dancing around trying to line everything up later. Just makes it a little bit easier. Great build. Is it available in any color? The fysetc kit I think only comes with black extrusions. LDO has all kinds of colorful extrusions. And then for the printed parts, it's whatever you decide to print. I printed all these parts myself. And these are printed in ASA, Prusament Orange, and Prusament Natural. ASA Natural. ASA is pretty much ABS with UV, like formulated for UV resistance. Like they're close to each other. They're pretty close to each other chemically. They are different plastics, like ABS, ASA. They are different plastics, but day-to-day use, ASA is pretty much ABS with UV resistance. It is also a little bit stiffer. On the trade of that, it also is more prone to cracking. I'm not saying it will crack. I'm just saying, as a result of it being stiffer, in the event, you know, you decide to Z negative China your gantry, you have a higher chance of cracking an ASA gantry than an ABS one. Hopefully this will hold up. It should hold up just fine. Plenty of people have built their Vorons using ASA. ASA and ABS are fine. If you have a good blend of PC or like PA16 nylon, it should be fine. It just, we still recommend ABS because we know ABS works. Most good ABSs will work just fine. It's just the problem is, like, you run into a situation where, like I did, where I bought some, you know, carbon fiber nylon, and I printed Toasty Boy in carbon fiber nylon. Unfortunately, it was PA6 nylon, which creeps like hell. So all my parts creeped, and I had to reprint pretty much everything structural on that printer, which sucked. And I am pretty sure something fell in the garbage here, so now I gotta dig through this garbage. Look for a bag. Yeah, there it is. I think it was just the one. Okay. So we have the centered guides in, bada bing, bada boom. Both are installed. And now we're on to the Z. So I think I am going to call it there in terms of build. Ugh. So what I will do, I'm going to end the stream in about 15 minutes. I'm just going to have an open floor. If anyone has any questions or wants me to go over anything that I've done tonight, we'll carry on with the Z next week, or correction, on Wednesday, most likely. Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not 100% sure yet. It'll be Wednesday or Thursday. Follow me on Twitter at 3DPNero for updates. Those are where I post updates most frequently about, you know, what's going on. So here's where we're at right now. We'll carry on with the Z next week because I have parts printing for it. Is it possible to mount MGN 9 to V slot? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I reprinted it PA12, CF15, yeah. Boys crane. I think so. I think so. It's upstairs somewhere. What am I gonna use Trident for? Printing stuff. There's holes in the MGN carriages. Why wouldn't you grease it from the holes? Not these ones. Not all MGN carriages. I'm doing a video on how to grease carriages and bearings and whatnot. I just haven't had time to actually record it. I've got all the stuff for it right there. But a lot of carriages, I'll show it on the video, but a lot of the times, proper MGN carriages from like Highwind have grease ports in them. Yes, that is true. The thing is, a lot of these AliExpress ones or China brand ones don't. These don't have a grease port in them. There is no hole to put the grease in there. There is no hole. And sometimes they have a hole there, but the hole goes nowhere. And then sometimes it does lead into there. So there is no way to grease these without actually taking the carriage off properly, because you can't get in there to grease them up properly. Because again, if you just put the grease or oil on the rail and do this, there's rubber wipers to prevent stuff from getting in. It's going to prevent most of the grease and oil from getting in. So why blind joints and not Masumi corner brackets? Because that saves you 80 bucks. Because Masumi corner cubes are $5 a pop and you need 8. That has Masumi corner cubes. That has Masumi corner cubes. All my other Vorons do not. It's not really an issue. It saves a lot of money and makes it a lot simpler. Wires crimped or soldered on your mark switch wire. They are soldered to the bed, and then everywhere else is crimps. Uh, 2.4 build, 300 by 300 versus 350s. If you're buying a kit, at least you get the bed and the flex plate. But that is the biggest jump in cost. Is 350 isn't really a common size for printers. That's 14 inches. If you're self-sourcing everything, go with the 12. This is 350, okay? This is 350 right here, okay? This is big, and this is only 25. This is 350 by 350 by 250. For reference, this is it on top of a 250. You can't really see, but yeah. Like, the frame is already heavy, and it just has rails on it. I have Stealth Chop enabled. Why are my motors louder? Because you're pushing them too hard. Stealth Chop at high speeds vibrates and causes a lot of harmonic issues. Use Spread Cycle. Honestly, all my printers run Spread Cycle. I don't run Stealth Chop on any of my printers. Any experience with Sparkly ABS? In Canada, Sparta 3D sells Sparkly ABS. I printed a lot of it. Bunch of prints up there. But I really like it. It's sparkly and it's ABS. And it actually prints really good. Interview with Colin aka Dub LMG incoming about if he wants to. I'm still trying to get Joel on the stream. He wants to, but we got to figure out a time and space. What is the airspeed of an unladen swallow? European or African? Where is this printer gonna go? The Super Racer is gonna move somewhere, and then it's gonna fit right there, hopefully. What? What? Do you want lunch? Or do you want dinner?
Look.
What is this? What color is that?
Orange.
Yeah, it's orange.
Wait.
It's a 3D printer.
Wait, what?
Yeah, those are screws.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the screws. Don't get into the screws because we're going to have a bad day, okay? Here. Want the tape measure? Yeah. Are you annoying Mama? Is that why you're down here? Did Mama kick you downstairs?
No.
No? Were you behaving?
No.
You weren't behaving? Oh. What am I going to do with you?
No.
Yeah, that's a screw. Here, that's an Allen key. What do you do with the Allen key?
Coffee.
Yeah, it goes in there. Can you tighten up all the screws on Daddy's printer? There you go. Okay, so I'm going to end the stream there, guys, because little guy here is probably hungry. So I'll see you guys either Wednesday or Thursday. For those that donated during the stream, you're awesome. For anyone who became a channel member, you're awesome. For anyone who just hung out for the stream, you're awesome. Everyone's awesome. Make sure you like that smash button on the way out. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you later in the week. Cheers.